Welcome back. Are you sick and tired of playing games just to get those quick achievements? Today, we are looking at 10 games available in Game Pass that will be enjoyable to play whilst you hunt for those achievements. So let's get on with the video and roll those credits. So today we are looking at the 10 top rated games for achievement hunting. Now, these might not have the top rated games on Game Pass. Some games like Mass Effect, Persona 5, Skyrim will have higher ratings, but these games will take over 80 to 100 hours to complete. The games we are looking today are not the quickest games to complete, but can usually be completed in around 20 hours. You do not have to give up your entire life to get every achievement, but you will enjoy every moment of playing these games whilst doing so. So before we jump into the list, let's get the boring stuff out the way. If you like this video and find it helpful, please share, like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to build this new channel and any help will be appreciated. Thanks to all those who have already subscribed, and I hope to see a few more of you clicking that button. If you have any comments of how we can improve this channel, then please do so in the comment section below. Now let's get on with this list. So at number 10 we probably have our quickest completion game, and that's Life is Strange True Colors. I was a big fan of the original Life is Strange, and True Colors seems to be continuing the great progress, scoring even higher than the originals, and is definitely a game worth checking out. The game is heavily narrative driven. You make choices along the way. You can't really go wrong with your choices. You can complete this entire game in one playthrough in approximately 8 to 10 hours. There's no missable achievements, so as long as you picked up all the collectibles along the way, this will be a very easy 1000G. With the sequel on the way, at number 9 we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This is a critically acclaimed game from the makers of Heavenly Sword, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and Devil May Cry. It's set in Viking Age. A broken Celtic warrior embarks on a haunting vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Now, this game might have been around for quite a while now, but it is still one of the best games on Game Pass. And similarly to Life is Strange, this game will only take you around 6 to 8 hours to get all the achievements. Now, there are only 14 achievements, and you should be able to get all of them in one playthrough. But just be aware there is a missable achievement in there, so make sure you check a guide before playing so you don't miss that one achievement. At number 8 we have a game by Arcane Studios called Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. Now, I've been a fan of Arcane games for a while, and especially the Dishonored series. Now, this is a kind of spin-off to the main Dishonored 1 and 2. You take the role as Billy Lark, like an assassin for hire, playing along and discovering some backstory with one of the main characters from the main games. It's definitely worth playing, and if you're a fan of Dishonored or Arcane themselves, then you're going to fully enjoy this game. Now, on the achievement side, this game will take you approximately 15 to 20 hours. It will require at least 2 playthroughs, possibly 3, because there is one doozy of achievement, which is to go through the entire game without being spotted. Now, this will definitely be your hardest achievement and may require several playthroughs to get through, but with the help of a guide and saving often, it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. I would recommend using a guide for this just to get through those stealth missions, and also there are about 3 missable achievements which, if you miss on your first playthrough, could affect your ability to get the achievements in a couple of playthroughs. At number 7 we have one of 2 games that are going to hit that nostalgia note, and that's Return to Monkey Island. Now this is a relatively new game, but is scoring really well with the critics and users alike. For anyone who's an old gamer like me, you'll remember the original Monkey Island games all the way back in like the early 90s. And Return to Monkey Island sees you once again taking on the role as Guybrush Threepwood as you set out on your pirate expeditions. This is your classic point and click adventure with a load of great humour, excellent writing, bit of controversy with the art style, but it's still a thoroughly enjoyable game. Now this game will take you 15 to 20 hours to complete and will require you to do 2 playthroughs, including a speedrun version of this game. There is also a trivia section, so a guide again would be beneficial for getting those trivia answers correct first time. Now, there's a lot of missable achievements in this game, as you only get one chance to do a lot of these things within game. So again, a decent guide would be recommended. But with that help, this game will be thoroughly enjoyable and an easy 1000G. Now the second game on our list that's going to hit that nostalgia note is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now back when I was a young gamer, all the way back on the NES and in arcades, you had many a classic turtle side-scrolling beat 'em up, and Shredder's Revenge continues in that same fashion. This is an excellent addition to the Turtles franchise, has been so lovingly made. For any Turtles fans or side-scroller, this is definitely a game that you need to check out, whether you're achievement hunting or not. Now it hits the right balance for achievement hunting at about that 15 to 20 hour mark. There is only one achievement that will really take you some time to get, and that's the No Need for Mutagen, where you've got to bring every character to max level in story mode. This will take the majority of your time to complete, but the rest of the achievements you should fly by. And you pretty much won't need any kind of walkthrough or anything. Most of these achievements are pretty easy to obtain. So if you're looking for that huge nostalgia hit, an excellent side-scrolling beat 'em up, and that 1000G, this is definitely a game to play. So next on our list is a game by Eidos Montreal and is based on another license, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now this game came out, I believe, in late 21, and even though it is critically acclaimed, it seems to have been slept on by a lot of players. Now this is definitely a good game with a great story and has achievements that will take around 20 to 25 hours, and it was well worth playing through this. In a single playthrough, you should be able to pick up 90% of all the achievements, with only a second playthrough needed just to mop up a couple that you might have missed. If you're a Marvel fan or not, the story is compelling, and I would highly recommend playing this if you're looking for a good game with easy achievements. So for number 4, we are going to do a little bit of cheating, because the game I'm recommending you play now is not just a single game, but a series. And that is The Walking Dead by Telltale. Now, everybody remembers Telltale before their demise as a narrative-driven game where you basically play out a movie or a series, making decisions along the way that influence what's happening in game. Now, they made quite a few based on different licenses. There was a Batman one, The Wolf Among Us, but probably their most known one and the best one that they made was the Walking Dead series. Now, the main story, there's 3 games or seasons, and there's a numerous amount of spin-offs. Now, all 3 of the Walking Dead seasons are available in Game Pass, with each one offering you 1000G. The final 2 seasons will only take you a couple of hours each to get all the achievements, and nearly every achievement can be got in your first playthrough by simply just completing the game. The only difference is the first game might take you a little longer, anything up to around 10 hours to complete, but is still an easy achievement. You'll pick up most of these in a single playthrough and you'll thoroughly enjoy the story. And the twist at the end of the first season sets up perfectly how great this game is. So now we're into the top 3, and the next game on the list is Death's Door. Now, I don't know much about this game, but I know I've heard a lot of critics saying how good it is. And anyone who's played it has definitely enjoyed their time with it. Now, this is not an overly long game, and you should be able to get through one playthrough and get every single achievement in around 15 hours. Now, it is highly recommended that you do use a guide for this, because there are about 4 achievements that are missable. And if you miss them, you will be required to play through again to collect those missing ones. So just make sure you either check a guide for these missable ones or use one as you play. Now, as you can see from the trailer playing in the background, the art style looks gorgeous. And the write-up describes this as a crow who harvests souls. And when one of your souls goes missing, it is your job to track it down. In a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow fast past their expiry and overflow with greed and power. From what I've heard, this is definitely a game you do not want to sleep on. Now, just missing out on the top spot in number 2 is a game that I enjoyed every minute of playing, and that's Double Fine's Psychonauts 2. So I hadn't played the first game, so I didn't really know what I was getting in for. But as soon as I started playing this game, I was hooked. Everything about it was perfect. The writing, the art style, the controls, everything just worked. And the achievements were enjoyable to collect. There was only a couple of the figment things that you have to collect that were a bit hard to find and took a while. And I had to use a guide to find a couple of odd ones. But other than that, this was a pleasure to play. Now, in total, this will take you about 25 to 30 hours to complete, and you should be able to do it in one playthrough. There is 2 missable achievements, so make sure you just double check that guide before you start. And that brings us to our final game, and one of the top rated games on Game Pass, and that's Plague Tale Requiem. Now, this is a newish release, only coming out in October 2022, but has instantly become one of the best games you can get on Game Pass. Now, this is a sequel to Plague Tale Innocence and takes you on a heart-rending journey into a brutal, breathtaking world twisted by supernatural forces. The visuals for this game are stunning, the score is brilliant, and you will enjoy every minute whilst playing to get these achievements. Out of the 35 achievements there are, 23 of these are secret. So it is well worth using a guide to make sure that you hit every single one. Now, the completion time is around 20 to 30 hours, with most people hitting it around that 25-hour mark. If you've played the first game, I'm sure you've already started the sequel. If you haven't, I would definitely recommend playing both games. Both were equally as good, but this game will have that shorter completion time and has that more polished feel. So definitely hit this one up as one of your first stops on your achievement runs. So that's my list of the 10 best rated games in Game Pass currently that will not take a lifetime to complete. Most of these games will take you less than 30 hours, but you will enjoy every moment, and I would recommend every single one of these games. What do you think about this list? Is there any games you feel I've missed that are currently in Game Pass? Which have been your favourite plays this year, and which quick completions would you recommend? Please leave us a comment below, and if you like this video, please also hit that subscribe button and give us a like. Well, that's all the time we've got today, so I'll see you guys in the next